By Dr. DELANY, 17291, by Jonathan Swift. Credis ob hic me pastor opes fordes, roger propter qui vulgus crassec, turba roget. Mart epig lib Roman 9:22. Thou wise and learned ruler of our isle, whose guardian care can all her griefs beguile, when next your generous soul shall condescend to instruct or entertain your humble friend, whether retiring from your weighty charge on some high theme, you learnedly enlarge of all the ways of wisdom, reason well how Richelieu rose, and how Sejanus fell o'er, when your brow less thoughtfully unbends circled with Swift, and some delighted friends when, mixing mirth and wisdom with your wine like, that your wit shall flow your genius shine, nor with less praise the conversation guide, than in the public councils you decide o'er, when the dean long privileged to rail asserts his friend with more impetuous zeal you hear, whilst I sit by abashed and mute, with soft concessions, shortening the dispute then close with kind inquiries of my state, how are your tithes, and have they rose of late? Why Christ Church is a pretty situation, there are not many better in the nation. This with your other things, must yield you clear some six at least £500 a year. Suppose at such a time, I took the freedom to speak these truths as plainly as you read 'em, you shall rejoin my lord when I've replied, and if you please my lady shall decide. My lord, I am satisfied you meant me well, and that I am thankful all the world can tell, but y'all forgive me, if I own the event is very short of your intent, at least I feel some ills unfelt before my income less, and my expenses more. How Doctor double vicar double rector. A dignitary with a city lecture. What glebus what deuce what tithes what fines what rent. Why doctor will you never be content? Would my good lord but cast up the account, and see to what my revenues amount to my titles ample, but my gains so small, that one good vicarage is worth them all and very wretched sure, is he that's double in nothing but his titles and his trouble. And to this crying grievance, if you please my horses foundered on Fermanagh ways, ways of whelpalist and whelpanted stone, where every step endangers every bone, and more to raise your pity, and your wonder too churches 12 Hibernian miles asunder with complicated cures, I labor hard in beside whole summers absent from me garden. But that the world would think I played the fool id change with Charlie Grattan for his school 3, what fine cascades, what vistos might I make fixed in the center of Ionian Lake. There might I sail delighted smooth, and safe, beneath the conduct of my good Sir Ralph 4, there's not a better steerer in the realm, I hope. My Lord Yowell call him to the helm doctor a glorious scheme to ease your grief. When cures are cross a schools, a sure relief. You cannot fail of being happy, there the lake will be the lethe of your care, the scheme is for your honor, and your ease, and doctor ill promote it when you please. Meanwhile allowing things below your merit, yet doctor, you've a philosophically spirit your wants are few, and like your income small and you've enough to gratify them, all you've trees and fruits, and roots enough in store, and what would a philosopher have more? You cannot wish for coaches, kitchens, cooks. My lord, I've not enough to buy me books or pray suppose, my wants were all supplied, are there no wants I should regard beside? Whose breast is so unmanned as not to grieve compassed with miseries, he can't relieve. Who can be happy who should wish to live, and want the godlike happiness to give? That I am a judge of this you must allow, I had it onseemed I am debated it now. Ask your own heart, my lord, if this be true then, how unblessed am I, how blessed are you? 'Tis true but, doctor, let us waive all that say, if you had your wish what you'd be at. Excuse me good my lord, I want be sounded, nor shall your favor by my wants be bounded. My lord, I challenge nothing as my due nor is it fit, I should prescribe to you. Yet this might Symmachus himself avow, whose rigid rules 5 are antiquated, now my lord id wish to pay the debts I owe id wish besides to build, and to bestow. Footnote 1 DELANY by the patronage of Carteret, and probably through the intercession of Swift, had obtained a small living in the north of Ireland worth about £100 a year, with the chancellorship of Christ Church, and a prebend's stall in St. Patrick's, neither of which exceeded the same annual amount, yet a clamour was raised among the Whigs on account of the multiplication of his preferments, and a charge was founded against the Lord Lieutenant of extravagant favour to a Tory divine which Swift judged worthy of an admirable ironical confutation, in his vindication of Lord Carteret. It appears from the following verses that DELANY was far from being of the same opinion with those who thought he was too amply provided for Scott. See the Vindication. Prose Works Roman 7 p. 244 W.E.B. Footnote 2, which according to Swift's calculation in his vindication of Lord Carteret, amounted only to 300 a year prose works, Vol. Roman 7 p. 245, W.E.B. Footnote 3, a free school at Enniskillen founded by Erasmus Smith Esq Scott. Footnote 4, Sir Ralph Gore, who had a villa in the Lake of Arun F. Footnote 5, Symmachus, Bishop of Rome 499, made a decree that no man should solicit for ecclesiastical preferment before the death of the incumbent H.